There we are. Hi, everybody. Is this it's open and working? Excellent. Hi. Actually, I'm going to go straight to the chat room. Yes, that works. Excellent. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's very toasty back here in the garage in LA. The fan is on, but I don't feel anything coming out of it. The air conditioning unit back here. Maybe is this where I find out it's on the fritz later? Is that what happens? Is that what's going on? Oh, boy. Well, either way, I guess, wish me luck. This is going to be fun. If I start getting very dewy, Instagram is not up and Substack will not be up for this one until I can find a way to dual cast to them. It's just the nature of being in LA. Apologies. I'm going to try and set up an OBS output here. I'm not going to try. I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it tomorrow after radio when I have some time to trust stuff, so that the next time I come in, I'll be able to do all the channels on all alerts. Ellen, wish me luck. So, I normally don't do an afternoon show when I'm doing flappers, because, it's a lot of intellectual heavy lifting. But, I drove in this morning, skipped the morning show because Rob couldn't be with us for Friday Eye. So I figured, well, just skip that. If I'm going to kill one show today because of travel, I'll do that one. And then I'll move down, do the afternoon one. So I just arrived about an hour and a half ago, crashed for about 45 minutes, and then came out here and set everything up and stuff. We have a new webcam right there on this thing. I bought one specifically to swap out the old one, which, even though it's supposed to be like an HD, I think it's a 4K capable camera, for some reason just could not deal. I don't know what it was. Like, it wasn't the cable. I replaced everything. So Logitech's usually pretty rock solid, but this thing was just eating shit for a long time. So thanks for the Patreon support. We've got a new camera in here. And yes, I will be very perspiry today, but it's good for the skin. You know what I mean? The humidity is good for the skin, especially when you're in Vegas a lot, where it's as dry as Ben Shapiro's ex-wife's or his wife's nether regions. I think they're still in. Excellent. So a bunch of stuff to cover today. I'll never get to all of it. Let's just jump straight in, shall we? I'm going to close that. Don't need this. This business. Okay. I also, for as dewy as I might look, good Lord, ladies and gentlemen, are we going to have an issue? Hold on. Let's go to Ecamm, and it should go to this one. And then we go to, yeah, there we go. Hopefully my buttons still work. We'll see. Hey, look at that. Look in the, and I can actually cut myself out of the thing, and it doesn't look half bad compared to how it used to. So that's, it's what we call canai around here. Canai, whatever Tony Robbins used to call it. Constant and never-ending improvement. So, yeah, Vegas skin, absolutely, CSL. So, whatever's happening, with me being here, at least I don't look like I've been, I don't know, what is that Simonizing? What happens to skin that causes it to do that red thing, besides like finding out you're allergic to lobster at the last minute? Is that heart attack red? Is that what that is? Because there's also a shit ton of filler. Eric Bowling is the first person I can remember making the joke about someone, instead of using regular filler, using marzipan to fill his face. Because there's a shit ton of like cheek filler, jaw filler. Look at how round his fucking face is. Like, there's no other explanation except on purpose, right? Shit ton of Botox, right? It almost feel like this is the before and after pictures have been reversed. Like, this is what he actually looks like, and that's what he looks like now. It's not rosacea, because this is just fucking cherry red. That's a sunburn. It has to be, right? Ugh. anyways, he's definitely, this is filler, ladies and gentlemen. That's what that is. That is glue, like blurbiderm, whatever, whatever the whatever the Kardashians use to rejuvenate their vaginas. Apparently, he got a hold of a syringe of it and just went fucking nuts. Silly putty, yeah. I think I still stick by it's marzipan. Anyways, this is John Solomon. This is right now. The plot, in case you guys haven't been following along, and I'm sure that you have, the plot right now is flood the zone with bullshit. Just flood the zone. Because Epstein is still not going away. Massey and Ro Khanna have victims coming in next week. This thing is, once the House comes back, the Epstein stuff is going to just continue to boil, and it's just not going to get any better. So what they're trying to do is bury the outrage about Epstein in a shit ton of other scattered peripheral outrage. So you might give a shit about this a lot and the Epstein stuff, and you'll get focused on this. And somebody else might not give a shit about that, but they'll get air about this and the Epstein stuff, so they'll get focused on this. And there's 4 things that will distract people, where their primary is Epstein, but they have a secondary immigration, crime, whatever that shit is. They trying to distract them with their close second, whatever their gripe is, that he wants to distract them with their close second. And the reason there's so much of this stuff is because one thing won't work for everybody the way the Epstein files seem to. So all of these shows, there's a bunch of them, and I'm sure CSL noticed this. All these conversations have a dozen different, something to hang your hat on, right? Something to get attached to. Where's the other one? Is it, there was another one where they were talking about I'm sorry, there's another multi one. This is the one we're on. Because I kind of ditched a bunch of the other ones that were for these things, but there were a few videos. The Mickey Mouse cursor is kind of awesome. Boink, boink, boink. There are a couple of these things. There's a couple of these things that I just kind of passed over because it's like a Whitman sampler of bullshit. That's what they're trying to do. So this is an example. I've not watched this before. John Solomon, by the way, is the guy who accidentally provided Hunter Biden with a total alibi by releasing documents on his site, because he was like, we're going to dump every document we have on True News or whatever the fuck it was, and not knowing that you could actually go to the pages on there and go, oh, okay, yeah, there was no deal here. Actually, this is, if you look at Hunter Biden's texts about stuff, he wouldn't start a business with the Chinese company he was working with unless they set up a U.S. company as a subsidiary. They refused to do it, and the money he got was literally for, sorry for wasting your time, right? It's standard there, yeah. Why is he sitting? I have it's the nature of the studio space here, so forgive me for sittings. And we need a better chair here. This thing's a mess. Good Lord. Anyway, so let's hear what they have to say. Okay, you guys hear that. I don't. Which is weird. So hold on one second. I always got to remedy these silly things at the last minute. It's always fun. It's always something. All right. In the browser, Safari. Yeah, Safari should be doing its thing. I should be able to hear it. No, that's not. That's me. I don't need to hear any of me, per se. It should be the mix of that and that. So I should hear. Why would that audio not be coming out?
All right, there we go.
Nope, these got low. Okay, you guys can hear that. I can't. That's annoying. One moment. One moment, please. System audio should be going to the monitoring thing and not to there. And something. Yeah, hold on. Somebody's been messing around my settings, son. Setting sun, whatever. Aha. You jerk. All right. One moment, please. There we go. And I think I should be able to hear it now.
Oh, where's that bell?
Got it.
Texas. Oh, New York Stock Exchange, Texas. They just opened one. That's Broad and Wall. Markets are closed. Take a look at the closing numbers, folks. Not a bad. I told you. It was going to be all about NVIDIA. They came out. They crushed the earnings. Dow up 70. NASDAQ up. Oh.
Yeah. By the way, he's. I mean, the top 8 stocks in the Dow and in the NASDAQ are booing everything else, and and all the ones that are doing really well. And one of the reasons why there's a bum rush into certain stocks right now is because there are carve-outs specifically for them: chips, steel, all that kind of stuff. Anything that the country needs desperately right now but doesn't make enough, there are carve-outs in the tariff. So no matter what he does, whether he tacos or not, there's already a fix in for that. Now, one of the other reasons, and this is yesterday, so the story might change a little bit over the next little bit, if I may, chat room. Let me open this up because this is a new story that just broke. Where is it? Hold on, I'm going to have to grab this from, let's see, Trump tariffs. Another court, Trump's tariffs were found, an appellate court struck down Trump's tariffs today, just recently. Okay, yeah, here you go. This is from CNBC. I'll show you this right now. Break this down on here. Boink. Pull this over here so you can make it a little small. Get out of here. Most Trump tariffs ruled illegal in huge blow to White House trade policy. Okay, the reason why is because he used the Emergency Powers Act to do these things. Oh my God, Ron Allen, thank you so much. I'm a big lefty native. Hal is so smart sometimes. I can't stand you, but damn, you keep me coming back. Oh, Ron, thank you. Thank you so much, Ron. Appreciate that. As and Canadian as well. So yeah. This goes without saying. This is obviously true. The Congress is supposed to, design the tariffs, and the president can sign off on them. He has a little bit of leeway in an emergency in between sessions or something. Think of it as like when they do recess appointments. Okay, the president has recess appointment like tariff powers. They are limited and they're timed to Congress can't react, and all of a sudden, fucking, I don't know, China dumps a bunch of steel on the market right after Mike Johnson sends everybody home to hide from the Epstein files, and the president goes, "Oh shit." They're going to wreck, like people are just going to buy up all this steel. And that means they're not going to buy any steel for the rest of the year because they're just going to grab all this cheap shit that's being dumped on the market. Okay. And so because they're in recess and the Congress couldn't come back and pass a law immediately to put a tariff on this, the president has the ability to do that as an emergency until one can be established by Congress legally. Okay. And there's probably some leeway when they come back over time so they can crossfade into it. But he can react to it as a trade emergency, but not longer than that. And certainly not permanent. And he can't negotiate as if he is Congress. He can't do it. We have the separation of powers. Now, Trump wants to get rid of that, just like George W. Bush especially wanted to do. Now, obviously, H.W. also wanted to get rid of it. That's why he brought Bill Barr in. Bill Barr's whole thing is supreme executive administrative state. Like, he wants the president to be the guy who picks policy, guards everything. The Congress, no matter who's in it, follows his lead. And I do mean his. Okay? So, but that's always failed. There's a couple reasons it's always failed. One, it's unconstitutional. You will have to change the Constitution or the law specifically to cover the president and allow him to do this. You have to actively sit down and go, we no longer want this power and on these certain things, specific stuff. stuff's moving so fast. We can't do any tariffs that have to do with AI because the time we fucking blink, it's over, right? They can do that. And they could say around this one area, we can hand our power over to Donald Trump. And they have to pass a law. They have to go through committee, pass it on the floor, get everybody vote on it, send it up to the Senate. The Senate has to agree. And again, the Senate is full of people who don't want to give away power. If there's an element in the House that wants to give away power, the Senate is the part that says, fuck you. I want, there's a reason I have a 6-year term and that motherfucker has a 4-year term. The Senate, especially because red states get, just by a trick of math, end up with automatic senators around, states with fucking nobody in them, like Wyoming and North Dakota and South Dakota, right? California, 44 million people, 2 senators. Wyoming, 2 towns with 75 people in them, 2 senators. And so the Senate is not going to give up that power, okay? So as much as Trump would love to get maggots and Republicans in line to create this authoritarian regime where this state comes in, the fact is there are other Republicans who don't want that because they're not going to run for president. They don't see the presidency in their future, and they know that if they give this away, they got fucking nothing. They got no leverage. There's no reason why any president, including and especially a Democratic president or an independent president or a fucking Green Party president or anybody not in, or a Republican that's not in line with them, another Donald Trump but worse, who's just grifting his way through it. That person will never have to come to them, right? That person will never have to ask that Senate group's permission. So what the fuck where does your power go? And this is again where like self-interest and greed and power hungriness on the Republican side actually helps us a little bit because these people don't want to give it away to this dipshit. They want it for themselves. So it's patently illegal. It's obvious. This will more than likely go to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court will agree with this. Even Trump, and people are like, Trump's Supreme Court? Yes, Trump's Supreme Court. Because they don't want to be put out of business either. If all the power, if he can supersede the Congress and just do something, even just doing this against the Constitution without a ruling from the Supreme Court, ultimately, in a permanent sense, because none of these are temporary. None of the language around any of these tariffs are temporary, right? This is important. He has to follow certain rules, and they've been trying. They're much more weaselly than they were in the first term. But they're still, all the stuff they want to do is still technically unconstitutional, so they're getting it thrown back in their face. So this SCOTUS, because they want power themselves, they can imagine a situation where Trump no longer has to listen to them at all. So you have to understand, power is intoxicating. And when these people get in there, they might have come in with the marching orders. They're going to do everything that Trump wants until he asks the one thing they cannot bring themselves to do. Yes, I'm sure about the SCOTUS. The one thing they cannot do, which is give away their own power. Okay, so Federal Appeals Court ruled that most of President Donald Trump's global tariffs are illegal. Trump is all but certain to appeal to the Supreme Court. Right. The Federal Appeals Court ruled on Friday that most of his global tariffs are illegal, striking a massive blow to the core of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit in a 7-4 ruling held that the law Trump invoked when he granted his most expansive tariffs do not actually grant him the power to impose the levies. The appellate court paused its ruling from taking effect until October 14th in order to give Trump administration time to ask the Supreme Court to reverse the decision. Trump later Friday attacked the appeals court as highly partisan, which is fucking stupid, and asserted the Supreme Court will rule in his favor, which it will not. If these tariffs ever went away, it would be a total disaster for the country. If allowed to stand, this decision would literally destroy the United States of America. No, it fucking wouldn't. It's silly. As a matter of fact, if one of the defining characteristics of the United States of America is having a legitimate government that has 3 branches, co-equal, that is America. If a president can just do this shit, that's what destroys America. One of the, our defining characteristics are that we have three equal branches, that we have representative government. Okay. So anyways, you guys get the point. So, derp. Let's go back to, here you go.
100, S&P up 20, gold up 30. Nice job. Oil still a little high. We don't like that so much. Okay, jump.
Yeah, everything basically went up. And gold goes up when the dollar's taking a shit and people panic. If they're worried about the economy, they go into gold. Gold is an apocalyptic investment. If you don't believe me, look at all the ads for gold anywhere. The dollar's in the shitter and the world's going to end tomorrow. And if what are you going to do, dummy? Why is this in here? Hold on. I don't have a line straight across. That's not good. Let me fix that. There's always so much work to be done. All right, take this guy. There's me. Let me take this thing. Let me go. Oh, it's because I slid over here in the camera. Follow me? Oh, it doesn't follow me. Because I like this camera has an auto follow feature, which is not helpful ironically enough, when you have a green screen. Okay, so back where we were.
Crypto, please. Bitcoin, it was up all day, and now it just kind of ended down. What happened, Bitcoin? Come on.
I guess gun runners, drug traffickers, human traffickers, and the seller of children online don't feel like they can trust it and have moved into Ethereum.
Bitcoin 111,000, just up all day, and then just kind of dipped right at the end. Ethereum down, XRP down. CRO, it's a new crypto we're going to be watching. CRO, and you'll understand.
Who thinks this dickhead bought a bunch of whatever the fuck CRO is?
Why a little bit later in the show.
By the way, Solana USD, see that? Okay, Solana is the platform that Trump's meme coin is based on. It is, if you make a meme coin of your own, you make it using Solana. You use the blockchain that Solana uses or is based on. I'm speaking swiftly and in rudimentary terms, but Solana right here, this thing, that's its peg to the dollar standard. And then you can make your own meme coin and tie it to whatever the fuck you want. And then basically it's just a way of hiding money. You can just buy and sell those things, and they're just like dollars. So it ends up being like the bits in a debit card because you don't actually have dollars in the actual card. They're somewhere else, and they're just accounted for in an accounting software. It's kind of like that. So they just sit there. Okay, the meme coin can be just a place it can sit. Yeah.
CRO is up over 100% over the last 2 days. All right, I had the opportunity to speak with CEO and editor-in-chief of Just the News, No Noise, Mr. John Solomon. Very interesting. Take a listen. Good to have you back. You are a very busy man. If I can't steal, I got to steal you from Hannity these days, all the big dogs. But that's a testament to your investigative reporting. It's amazing. Tell us now. You're finding out that not only we knew about Hillary's email issues, her server that she had in her bathroom,
basement. Also, you know that she had one, but you know what else you know? It was never hacked. State Department was hacked. Petraeus and Colin Powell both had their email hacked. Hillary Clinton, they never got her. They got the DNC and the RNC. Nobody was able to hack her fucking server. It's ironic that these guys were like, she's playing fast and loose with secrets, when in reality, her server was never hacked. One of the reasons we're like, where are the emails? Like, Jesus Christ, I thought emails survived everything, right? You can never get rid of them. And she managed somehow. Obviously, you can't because they're on the government server that she sent them. They were received by someone. That's why it was silly. But like the idea that they didn't just show up magically anywhere else at all proves that her server was actually secure.
James Comey may have some of his own email issues now.
Yeah, so this is in the documents that Kash Patel recently found and Attorney General Pam Bondi recently declassified. They've been transmitted to Congress. We have a set of them. And what they show is that in 2019, the FBI determined that in an effort to facilitate at least one leak, maybe more, James Comey's inner circle team, including his chief of staff, set up a private email account where they would forward government information into it in the furtherance of trying to leak unauthorized information, meaning information that should not be leaked to the media. They were using private email. Now, they learned about this in 19, but they were doing this back in early 2017, just a few short weeks after clearing Hillary Clinton, but also shaming.
Okay, like they didn't clear her for almost 2 years after. Like I want to say 2019.
They didn't bring criminal charges against her, but they did in fact say that she should never have used private email. And a short while later, there they are.
Also, no, they don't. No one ever said you should never use private email. You should use private email for government business or classified documents. And the mixture of like, if you're sending your family schedule because they're meeting up with you somewhere because you are having a dinner, you're doing a charity thing or a book, something, whatever, and you've got that in your official schedule and you're leaving one thing like a meeting with somebody, and then you go to that other thing. This is why the Hunter Biden, was in there because like the anniversary of Bo's death, Hunter was CC'd on Biden's schedule when he was coming back from Ukraine because of his flight time and his arrival, I think it was, because they were all having a family vigil. So like when he would land, which is classified for the president of the United States, but the family obviously fucking knows. Jackie Kennedy knew exactly when, well, for the most part, except when Marilyn was around, I suppose, when John was coming and going, it's a terrible way to put it.
The exact same thing with complete impunity to the very standards that they told the American public the FBI was going to hold up to. So, remarkable story. What happens? Like everybody we know in the deep state or in the Democratic side, nobody got punished. The FBI wanted to believe they had a case against Comey and his inner circle team. They sought permission to go get the emails, and the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, under Donald Trump, said, no, we're shutting it down, and they declined prosecution.
Huh. Could it be what was in those emails? Could it have been that there were people on the team that Trump assigned to him to work on Hillary Clinton and go after people, and you would find the emails were like Trump moving conversations off of government systems to private systems with Comey and his team on purpose?
And wouldn't let the FBI even go look and see what was in that private email account. Now, remember what else we know in the last couple of weeks. We know that James Comey's inner circle, particularly his chief counsel, admitted that James Comey authorized the leak of classified information. FBI wasn't allowed to prosecute that. We know that a senior staffer.
So, and this is the guy, by the way, who Comey almost single-handedly cost Hillary Clinton the election with his stupid, press conference thing about her emails.
On the Democratic side of the House Intelligence Committee, said his boss, Adam Schiff, authorized the leak of classified information. No one got prosecuted there. We now know that these are just
Schiff authorized classified info leak. Oh, right. Sorry. It was what was it classified? Sorry, guy in the video bought crypto. Oh, Alyosha, of course he did. Yeah, he holds a shit ton of crypto. All these right-wingers do. They're all into crypto. It's why they want the dollar to die. And, you got to think about it. Like, all these guys... all right. Everybody is fucking bowling. This dude... we'll go back to here. Where am I? 324. Okay. Let's go back to bowling, right? Okay, this fucking dude. Okay. Him, Sean Hannity, fucking Jesse Waters, all these guys own a shit ton of crypto. And the reason they own a shit ton of crypto is the same reason that, like, TV preachers talk about debit cards and credit cards as the mark of the beast, and why they think the communists want to move us to a cashless society. Because if you pay a hooker with a credit card, there's a paper trail. That's why they want cash. You can always deny a cash transaction. That's why and that's what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin for them is the new cash. So they can all judge everybody else, present this idea that they are, they're not engaged in any kind of sinful, tormented demonic behavior, and yet pay for it in a way that there's no paper trail. That's what crypto is for. The only thing I can think of that people actually pay for crypto, like that I've heard of people using crypto to pay for shit, is hiring a hitman and paying prostitutes. For real. Yeah, well, exactly. Everybody learned from the lesson from Jerry Springer, right? Who paid a prostitute with a check and it bounced and she got mad. It was irregular. Yeah. So this fucker and all of his buddies hide their sketchier transactions with Bitcoin. And they look forward to that. That's what they're doing. And by the way, so does everybody at fucking Flashpoint and Copeland Ministries and all that kind of stuff. They all own a shit ton of crypto. Why? If you're talking about anybody, any group of people who allegedly should have, be completely comfortable with a record of everything they buy and sell. Right? Blackmail's another one, Joe. Yep. Hiding blackmail. This is crucial. That's why these people love crypto. Is his beard real? I have no idea. I don't think anything about him is real. So where were we? Back to here. 320 something. Back to here.
Team, including his chief of staff, set up a private email account and criminal charges against her, but they did in fact say that she should never have used private email. And a short while later,
for government business and for classified documents, never use it. Everybody, like the entire Trump administration, had Jesus Christ. Did they think this even qualifies anywhere close to fucking releasing attack plans as planes are flying into the air on signal, for shit's sake?
They are doing the exact same thing with complete impunity to the very standards that they told the American public the FBI was going to hold up to. So, remarkable story. What happens? Like everybody we know in the deep state or in the Democratic side, nobody got punished. The FBI.
Sorry, in the Democratic side, you just said that Trump called this investigation off. Trump's DOJ. Bill Barr told everybody in the DOJ under him to stop looking.
Believe they had a case against Comey and his inner circle team. They sought permission to go get the emails, and the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington under Donald Trump said, no, we're shutting it down. And they declined prosecution and wouldn't let the FBI even go look and see what was in that private email account. Now, remember what else we know in the last couple of weeks. We know that James Comey's inner circle, particularly his chief counsel, admitted that James Comey authorized the leak of classified information. FBI wasn't allowed to prosecute that. We know that
he has the right to authorize it as the head of the FBI. Again, that's the authorized part. You notice how they dropped this word authorize? If they authorize the disclosure of, quote, classified information, they have reclassified it. They have the ability to do that. The head of the State Department can reclassify something under their purview as being completely legal. That's what the fucking word authorize means. Jesus Christ.
Stafford on the Democratic side of the House Intelligence Committee said his boss, Adam Schiff, authorized the leak of classified information. No one got prosecuted there.
By the way, thank you, John Solomon, for admitting that everything that that Adam Schiff put out was true, because you can't leak a lie.
We now know that these are just revelations just in the last 2 weeks. Just think about this trail. We now also know that Hillary.
Do you notice that eye drift right there? I don't want to get too body language, but watch him go. All this has been released in the last 2 weeks. He does that kind of never mind.
Just in the last 2 weeks. Just think about this trail.
That right there. This is someone who knows they're bullshitting.
Also know that Hillary Clinton's foundation, the Clinton Foundation, was investigated 4 times, 3 criminal cases by the FBI, 1 by the IRS. In all instances, the IRS and the 3 offices of the FBI were told they couldn't pursue the matter, and they were told to shut it down.
By who, John?
Those are the exact ones.
By who?
In the 3 FBI cases were shut down by the Obama Justice Department. The IRS case was shut down by the Trump Justice Department.
Huh. And so the Obama administration, this is the assertion from this asshole. The Obama administration, this is the way he's presenting it, knew that the Clinton Foundation was up to sketchy shit. There were 3 investigations and they told them to stop looking. Instead of, did you find anything? No. Okay, well then that's that, right? Yeah, that's that. Okay, well, it's over. Which sounds like what actually happened.
Under Bill Barr and Jeff Sessions. I think it was mostly Jeff Sessions at that point.
Fucking Jeff Sessions, man. What an asshole. What was that guy known for? Oh yeah, being the first guy to support Trump in his presidential run.
Shocker there. Shocker.
What the fuck does that mean? Like, what is he? They think he's like Joe Walsh and he switched parties? Fucking Jeff Sessions. He's not supposed to actually be the AG. He's supposed to be Trump's lapdog. Fucking dude.
You scratching your head the way I was scratching my head on that. Whatever. We'll move on.
No surprise.
Yeah.
Why is it no surprise? What are you talking about? Because he refused to allow himself to become, to weaponize the Justice Department for Donald Trump in a way that Pam Bondi has no problem doing.
I think this is a little bit of a leap, less reporting, but more of an opinion. Your opinion, do you think that, I remember when this was going down, at first they got Hillary, right? And it was really good for Trump. And then all of a sudden Comey says, well, we're not going to investigate Hillary last minute, right? And that was like, the pendulum swung the other way. Support was kind of moving back towards Hillary.
Uh-huh. And then he said, well, we got to look back into that shit. And then it turns out later on, did they find anything criminal? Any negligence that was on par anywhere close to the fucking signal shit? I mean, seriously. Like, at this point, how do you not just go, somebody just go, signal, like in the background?
I think Comey decided not to prosecute Hillary because he would be on the hook with some emails that went back and forth between he and Hillary.
I've taken talked to a lot of people today who, after reading this story that we broke, said, I wonder about that. And the truth of the matter is we don't have a good understanding of it because the FBI.
Well, thank God you're on to talk about it. Hey, isn't that right, everybody? Oh, awesome. Thank you that we've finally found someone who doesn't have a good understanding of it to come and just toss conspiratorial horseshit around. Again, this is part of a plan. This is flood the zone with bullshit.
Didn't get access to the emails where they could see what was going through there. The timetable is a little bit different, right?
Dumb question. Dumb question.
Yeah, sure.
Comey's emails.
Like all the rest.
If you lose Hillary's, was his lost as well or missing?
We don't know. There's no evidence that they even asked the question of whether James Comey had a private email account. I mean, you see.
Huh? I thought that was the whole point. The title of this is Comey's private email scandal. What the fuck? Hold on. Did I move this up here? What happened? All right, hold on. Let's take a look, shall we? Comey private email scandal. Okay, an internal DOJ watchdog found that former FBI Director Comey used a personal email account for government business while leading the bureau. This was discovered during an investigation into... oh, fuck me. Hold on. I have to shrink this down. Hold on. Yeah, here you go. This is what we got so far. Here you go. An internal Department of Justice DOJ watchdog found that former FBI Director Comey used a personal email account for government business while leading the bureau. while going after Hillary Clinton for the same. And never bringing it up, I might add. Okay. This was discovered during an investigation into the FBI's handling of the Hillary Clinton email probe, which found that while Comey's personal email use was improper, it did not involve classified information. Convenience, not secrecy. Comey told investigators he used his personal Gmail account because his secure unclassified FBI computer connection at home was not working. He described the usage as incidental and said he ensured that work-related emails were forwarded to his government account to preserve a proper record. Unclassified material only. The Office of the Inspector General found that Comey used his personal account for unclassified purposes, such as typing a public speech or sending corrections to a news article he had forwarded to other FBI officials. Contradiction with public statements. This was in contrast with Comey's own public statements from 2016, where he warned FBI employees they would be in huge trouble for using personal email system for bureau business, which is, again, bureau business. If he's given a private speech or okay, is that bureau business? That's how they get around it. It's back to the old Clinton. It depends on what your opinion of is. Okay. Broader context. Separate from the Clinton probe, it is important to distinguish Comey's personal email use from the investigation he oversaw. I don't know why. Focus of the OIG report. The discovery of Comey's email use was a side finding of the OIG's 2018 report, which primarily criticized the FBI and DOJ's handling of the Clinton email probe in the run-up to the 2016. So the same thing that's shitting on how they handled it. All right. Separate OIG report in 2019 found that Comey violated official policy by providing unclassified memos about his conversations with President Trump to a friend who then shared. I remember that whole story. That's really what this was about. Is it like his notes, to a reporter or with another person. Yeah. Newly classified DOJ watch shows FBI. Yeah, this is July 21st. I don't know why Solomon is acting like it came out yesterday. IG. Comey used personally again for FBI business. This is 2018. Agree. Yeah. Look when this story came out. The fuck? The IG. Comey used personal email account for FBI business. James Comey used a personal Gmail account for official government business after leading the investigation into Hillary Clinton use of a private email server, the IG said Thursday. The report covers several examples, including times Comey sent himself drafts of testimony he planned to deliver to Congress, drafts of bureau-wide updates he planned to send to mark milestones during the year. Using a personal email for work purposes is inconsistent with his DOJ policy, given a lack of exigent circumstances and the frequency of which the use occurred. Clinton responded Thursday to a description with, "but my emails." Yeah, this is like, the fuck they think this is like, aha. So fucking late. And again, this is about flooding the zone. Again. Now, speaking of flooding the zone, let's see if this one can, yeah, okay, hold on. All right. For those of you who don't remember, this is Miranda Devine. Miranda Devine, I think, wrote the big Hunter Biden book. She wrote Laptop from Hell. She wrote the book called Laptop from Hell. And I would like to remind everyone that she has never laid eyes on this laptop, ever. Ever. She's never seen the fucking thing. She's seen files from a hard drive named laptop that Rudy Giuliani's lawyer allegedly got from John Paul McIsaac, the guy with the Mac place, from a wet laptop that he managed to pull, 216 gigs of stuff off of 245 gigs of stuff off of a laptop with a hard drive that only holds 200 gigs of stuff. And then all of those things were categorized into folders by Rudy Giuliani. So all the files were messed with, things were added, stuff was deleted. And then that hard drive was called laptop, and then they passed that around. And she wrote her book based on that. And Hunter Biden's kicking ass and taking names right now. So it was very effective. This is, by the way, now she's jumping in. Miranda Devine, the radical left is on the wrong side of common sense and humanity. Okay, the radical anything is on the wrong side of common anything because that's what defines being a radical. You're a writer. You should know that sentences like that are fucking stupid. Let's see.
Moving on to yesterday's deadly shooting of Catholic school children attending Mass in Minneapolis early yesterday morning. The killing rampage left 2 kids dead, 17 others injured. Do
you think they covered the Walmart, El Paso shooting the same way? You guys remember the El Paso shooting? All these are bad. And again, no matter what the root of a mass shooting is, it's as far as the ideology allegedly or whatever their fucking manifesto says, it's all ego. It's a self-involved egomaniacal asshole who thinks they matter more than anybody else. So I'm forgetting yeah, there you go. Patrick Crucius killed 23 people at 23 fucking people at the El Paso Walmart. Do you think they did wall-to-wall fucking coverage of the shooter, knowing full well that he was like, it was caused by the great replacement theory shit? Nope.
Is investigating the horrific crime as an act of domestic terrorism and a hate crime targeting Catholics, to which Miranda Devine writes in the New York Post.
Hang on. So insofar as I know, the shooter is born male, identifies as trans. I feel reasonable to call bullshit, but whatever. That it may just be them playing with stuff and saying whatever they want. Had like basically a fuck Trump attitude in their documents because he wasn't going far enough. He wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. And he was like, had this big like anti-Jew, anti-Semitic, anti-Zionist stuff that you hear on the fucking campuses and shit like that. All basically justifications for the fact they were going to shoot a fucking bunch of kids. But the main thing of it was, interestingly enough, not really about Catholics. Right? Like there wasn't a lot about Catholics per se in there. It was odd. It seemed like this asshole was going to go just to like churches or religious schools, like all of them, you know, and the Catholic church where their mother worked for a while, where his mother worked, was just an obvious first target. But a lot of these people do themselves in afterwards because they picture what it's going to be like. They think it's going to be like a fucking video game. And then when they see what actual death looks like, it's traumatic and they kill themselves. Even Crucius, the guy in El Paso, like he's a fucking basket case. He turned himself in to the police. And when they showed him, he asked them when his hands were in cuffs to cover his eyes for him because he didn't want to look at the victims. Fuck you. But also, that's not uncommon to these assholes, is that they have this video game or fantastical idea of what it's going to be like it's going to be like a movie, and it's not.
At least we now have an FBI that tells the truth about the motivating hatreds so that we can try to understand the pathology and stop its spread.
Yeah, and again, is she going after the great replacement theory and the people who push it, like Tucker Carlson and others, for the El Paso shooter who killed 23 people in a fucking El Paso Walmart? 23 fucking people. Way higher body count. Way more like personal attack. Went inside. Like this one shot through the windows and killed children while they were praying through stained glass windows. So it wasn't even like they walked in and pulled a Lori Dan, and said, I'm going to teach you guys about death in the room. These kind of that one-to-one fucking creepiness, right? Whereas that's exactly what the El Paso shooter did. And again, can I just say, all of them will take what they think will be a sympathetic standard. Manifestos are now a manipulative way of controlling the narrative after it's over to either protect yourself or lionize yourself with a group of people. But ultimately, no matter, the only people who shoot up places like this are egomaniacal assholes who think their grievance is worth more than somebody else's fucking life. And they never, that's why fuck Luigi, fuck this shooter, fuck Crucius and the El Paso shooter, fuck all these people, because it's not about the victims and what they think they're standing up for, or their race or any of that stuff. They just think they deserve the right to kill somebody. And they always end up fucking just, you know, well, it's gross. It's grotesque.
She joins us now. Miranda Devine, New York Post columnist, Fox News contributor.
And abject failure in the Hunter Biden scandal.
Host of the Pod Force One podcast. Miranda, expand a little bit on what you mean by that, how important it was for the FBI to specifically mention that this is an attack on Catholics.
And by the way, go back over all the other ones you ignored until it was a trans-identifying psychopath. It's better to explain why you didn't give a fuck about when they're, attacking synagogues, when you've got a synagogue shooter who, by the way, killed a bunch of fucking, I think, Methodists who were visiting. Again, these people aren't the brightest bulbs, or they would have other solutions. Miranda Devine, please tell us why exactly you didn't give a fuck up till now. And by the way, that's the other thing. They're clamoring for this shit. Okay, next up, Homan. The title of this one stood out to me specifically. And by the way, hit the like, share the show. It's Hal Sparks, Megaworldwide, the greatest live stream in the history of live streams. If you're watching this as a video later, comment below on a person you think I should cover, like a YouTuber or somebody that I need to look into or whatever. Apparently the comment below thing helps. I don't know. All right. So, this is, the title of this is A Ticking Time Bomb. It will take a decade to fix this, says Homan. A decade. Gee, I don't know about you, but I was under the impression that there were 25 million brand new illegals in the country who are clearly new. Like they haven't settled in or dug in like an Alabama tick, right? Stay out of my beachfront community, Lebowski. Stay out of Malibu, deadbeat. What's with the pin in his lapel? That's his microphone, and I don't know. This is probably like his insignia of his office or something. The point is, if there were that many of these people around, and they had just shown up in the last 4 years, the idea that you wouldn't be able to find at least I don't know. I'm going to spitball here. 1.5 million of them in the first 6 months. By the way, this is what they believed. If you'll recall, last year, they were the biggest deportation ever. Remember, they promised us. The maggots, anyways. Right? It was insisting that we're gonna have 1 million people, and like on day one, right? And now it is Homan's job to come out and explain to maggots, because again, this isn't aimed at you and I. We don't listen to fucking Homan. I don't even know why we would, even for information. This is for maggots.
Is the Trump administration border czar Tom Homan. Okay, you can hear the guy here. He can't speak English. They tested him. He can't interpret road signs.
Okay, this is the trucker that had the accident that killed a couple of people in Florida.
Him on that too. This is like a ticking.
Also, the idea that he couldn't interpret road signs is a little ridiculous. He broke the law. The U-turn thing he was using was for official use only. The idea is maybe he thought that was an official U-turn. Unless you're officially U-turning, you didn't get it, right? This is just fucking stupid.
Time bomb in an 18-wheeler, and now we have 3 dead Floridians as a result. Who's responsible for this? He came in through California, got his commercial driver's license in the state of Washington and the state of California. Who should we hold accountable here?
I don't know, how the fuck did he get all the way from Washington State and California to fucking Florida without being able to interpret road signs? Seriously, the fact that this accident didn't happen outside of Tacoma is a fucking mystery if what you're saying is true. How the fuck did he get all the way across the country if he can't read and understand traffic signs? What do you mean? He obviously can. He's a fuck up. He's not the only person to ever do it. Jesus Christ. Hold on. Let's see. How about this? Do you want to go, how about all the U.S. citizen truckers that have fallen asleep at the wheel? Okay, hold on. Let's go with this. Number of U.S. truckers who have fallen asleep at the wheel, resulting in a fatality. While exact yearly statistics for fatalities from truck drivers falling asleep are hard to isolate, a 2018 study by the FMCSA and the National Highway and Transport Safety Association found that driver fatigue was a factor in 249 deaths and 1,654 injuries in commercial truck crashes. Estimates that overall drowsy driving was responsible for 684 fatalities. That's just people. I suppose they're American citizens who know if you're drowsy, you should pull over. Hey? All right.
Of these three innocent people.
Well, I think the California politicians who believe giving illegal aliens a driver's license is fine.
He wasn't an illegal alien. He had a work permit. That means he's not illegal. He's not illegal. And just because he's got like temporary protections and you turn them off while he's trucking and driving around, whatever the fuck, doing work, you turn off that his right to be here doesn't automatically make him illegal because you fucking say so.
The Biden administration, look, Sean, it's going to take us a decade to fix what they broke. We're looking for millions of people they release in this country.
Why? There's millions. They released them into this country. They don't have names, nothing. They just, what's your name? Gary? Come on in. Like, it's absurd. People get fingerprinted. If they've got a commercial driver's license like this guy wasn't fucking hard to find. You only know about him because he had an accident. It wasn't a fucking secret.
And he can't speak the language, but he's putting the American public at risk. And there's a lot of Mexican truck drivers who come across the port of entries, and their trucks don't even meet our safety standards.
Okay. Then the Trump administration has to talk to the Mexican government and either force or cajole them into raising their truck standards or enforce some sort of port system where you can't drive your truck into the fucking... What the fuck are you talking about? How does this... by the way, this has nothing to do with immigration or customs enforcement. This is national transportation, like highway safety. For real. This safety standards, that's not... And I gotta say, this dippy motherfucker, if this is what you're coming up with, you're not brooming people out or whatever. You're arguing trucking safety standards in I guess in goods shipping to and from Mexico. That's not your fuck. You know what? That's Department of the Interior. That's Sean Duffy and that crowd as well. That they're supposed to work this out. Yeah, and this guy's from India, right? That's the stupider part of this. Like, what does this have to do with Mexican truckers? Nobody fucking knows. I guess everybody's Mexican. The honest to God.
Governor Abbott, several months ago put a stop to it as in negotiations with governors of Mexico.
Oh, yeah? He did? What the fuck was Trump doing while this happened?
My career, when I was in the Border Patrol back in the 1980s, Mexican truck drivers were coming across that can't speak English, and their trucks wouldn't pass the safety levels that our highway system requires. So this has been going on, but President Trump's
okay. First of all, fuck you. You're not stopping trucks coming into the country. Secondly, this has nothing to do with that. This truck was not unsafe. It was unsafely manned. It was unsafely piloted, but it was not the brakes didn't fucking fail, you dipshit. The wheels weren't too wide for the lanes or some nonsense. The fuck is this guy talking about? And what does this have to do with 25 illegals that apparently stormed in here from a loony bin and are on a stabby stab? What the fuck?
For this, we got a lot to fix, And
it's not your fucking job, dummy. Apparently Abbott's fixing it.
Well, all right, correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong. I don't know what he's going to say, but I'm pretty much, we can pretty much bet on it.
We've had Kristi Noem on the program. We've had you on the program.
So you don't talk to anybody who knows anything. Okay, well, it's a good thing when we established that right away. That you're talking to people who have their head up their ass, and except when they're actively taking a shit.
So his lawyer is arguing that he can challenge, his deportations on the right that he will be the person that is unsafe. Is this the guy that you've identified as an MS-13 gang member?
No.
Is this the guy whose own wife accused him of being a wife beater?
No.
Is this the guy that we've been told?
Wait a minute. Does this motherfucker think Kilmar Obrego Garcia was driving that truck? What? Wait. Hold on.
The lawyer is arguing.
Hold on.
We got a lot to fix.
We got a lot to. Okay, so there was no. I didn't miss some sort of fucking edit in this. What the fuck? Jesus Christ! Can you imagine being a Fox viewer, a dough-headed dipshit that watches the show, and now you come away thinking that the Indian man who was driving a truck, who had managed to drive it all the way across the country without fucking driving through an intersection because he didn't know what a fucking stop sign is, apparently, has an accident in Florida. And that guy, that Indian immigrant who is here under protected status and is afraid to go home for whatever reason, is Kilmar Obrego Garcia.
Fix.
Well, all right, correct me if I'm wrong, because we've had Kristi Noem on the program, we've had you on the program. So his lawyer is arguing that he can challenge.
Hold on. Wait 1 second. Let's see. Immigrant trucker accident kills whatever. Let's see. Illegal Antonio. Oh, so yeah. First of all, the dude came into America illegally during the Trump administration and was here the entire time. Let's see. Yeah. Apparently, he's MS-13 is his name is Harneet Singh. Apparently, MS-13 is recruiting Sikhs now. Is that what? Jesus Christ. Correct me if I'm wrong. I would, if I did that, I would do nothing else in my life. What an asshole. Harneet Singh is the name of the driver that we are talking about.
Fix.
Well, all right, correct me if I'm wrong, because we've had Kristi Noem on the program, we've had you on the program. So his lawyer is arguing that he can challenge, his deportations on the right that he will be the person that is unsafe. Is this the guy that you've identified as an MS-13 gang member? Is this the guy whose own wife accused him of being a wife beater? Is this the guy that...
Okay, so the person in the who's doing the Chiron is on it, but but Sean has not made the transition to changing who we're the fucking talking about.
We've been told apparently was soliciting minors on the internet and involved in other illegal activities.
Sorry, you've been told?
That is saying that he's going to be.
Who told you this? Kristi Noem?
If he goes back to his home country, isn't he unsafe to all of us if he stays?
No.
He's a significant public safety threat. You got it right. He's a gang member, designated terrorist. And he's been.
No. Okay. You don't get to reclassify a whole group of people as terrorists and then say, dude's a terrorist, because you said now gang members because of drug affiliation are terrorists. So anybody I say is a gang member is now officially a terrorist. Holy shit. Do you realize that any Republican president could, like, anybody who was associated with the Crips or the Bloods or any kind of gang member in the country could be put in fucking Guantanamo under the Patriot Act with this classification? No trial, no nothing. American citizens scooped up and put in Guantanamo, whether they're still affiliated or not, and just on your fucking say-so. And then if a Democrat came in, I guess in theory, they could do that with the Klan or some militia group or the fucking Bundys, right? Are you out of your fucking mind? You can't change the definition of terrorism and then go, dude's a terrorist.
Removed by 2 different federal judges. He's been indicted for human trafficking.
And no, you indicted him for human trafficking. It wasn't just magically indicted for human trafficking. You guys added that because you shipped him out of the fucking country and you knew you fucked up. So you added the fact that he was a driver amongst a bunch of workers on their way to work as proof that he was a human trafficker, because he's a human and he was apparently in traffic at some point.
In alien smuggling, he's a bad man, and I'm telling you, listen,
Yes, I'm getting a lot of clues from this that you're what's the word? Bullshitting.
Word. He will be deported from this country. I got my teeth in this thing. I'm not letting it go.
Right, because you look like an asshole, and so you have to follow through with it. You can't admit you're wrong, because being wrong is a sign of weakness, and you got nothing else. The fact that we even fucking know this guy's name is proof that you guys don't have 25 million, quote, illegals running around the goddamn country. If there are that many, and they're as rampant as you say, we wouldn't have time to memorize the name of any of them. You'd be able to just, like, go, yeah, they're clearly criminal. Here's their list of their crimes. We sent them to this other place. You can check it. The reason you had to hide this and pretend it never happened and like put this veneer of crime over him after the fact is because you fucked up.
As far as the story now, he's going to claim asylum. First of all, he's beyond the required 1 year.
That's because of you guys, asshole. And by the way, no, he's not. The clock starts again. That's because of you guys, asshole. And by the way, no, he's not. The clock starts again when he's brought back to the United States. The reason you had to so
because of race, religion, and political.
If your country that and gangs run the fucking place, or there's a military junta that's scooping people fucking up, or there's a massive drug trade in the area and you'll get snuffed because you gave information to the U.S. or any of that kind of stuff. Some myriad of other reasons. No, you don't. You can't get the ruling for asylum isn't simply that you're trying to escape your fucking government. You can't go back to your country without your life being in danger. That's why women can come here to escape domestic violence.
Well, he's not going to his home country, right? So he's going to either Uganda or
Uh-oh, I'm glitching. Something's glitching. Sorry. Check. YouTube was skipping. Dun, 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 dun. Maybe open your page. Yeah, just refresh, everybody.
Any other country we decide to send him to. What is the evidence that he can present that he's going to be executed because of his race, religion, political affiliation? He's got to present that evidence. He doesn't have it.
Oh, yeah. Also, race, religion, political affiliation is not the only protected characteristics. And if you sent them back there and a gang of people from the fucking ECOT wants to kill him for information about what the inside of that fucking prison looks like, because he should have never gone there in the first place, but he knows what it looks like inside and how, like, the schedule goes and all the secret shit around that they keep separate. They don't want gangs to know about. You know, he knows that shit now. They could torture him just to figure out a way that, you know, to look for a weakness in that place to get their buddies out, dummy.
So if the judge rules on the law, he's gone.
Lie, stupid, ridiculous. Also, not the trucker.
Okay, how many court dates does he get? How much do taxpayers have to pay? How much?
I don't know. He shouldn't have. He should have just had one. If you motherfuckers had done your job.
How much money will this cost taxpayers every time he drags this country back to court?
How about it would have been once. If you'd have given him due diligence in the first place, that it would have been over. But you created his defense and you reset his asylum claim when you shipped him out of the country illegally. Dumbass.
Imagine it's costing a small fortune.
Well, keep imagining it, dummy, because it's a bunch of stamp jockey shit. It's not that expensive.
Oh, absolutely. And
No. How much does it cost? Don't absolutely anybody. You're the fucking border czar. How much is it costing?
these advocates out there, these attorneys working with these open border advocates, they know how to play the system. They appeal after appeal after appeal. He'll lose the
Right. And the judge reads it, and the judge is on the clock, so you're not paying fucking attorneys for this shit.
and they'll appeal to the BIA, Board of Immigration Appeals. Then if they lose that, they'll appeal to the appellate court. They know how to play the game because what?
Well, then maybe don't have a ham hock fucking moron like you running things. Maybe if you're going to do something this illegal and this fucking sketchy, just find somebody smarter to run it.
Is waiting us out, Sean. If they can hold out long enough, hoping for the next Democratic administration that's going to save the day and award amnesty to millions of people.
They're not going to do amnesty, you dumb motherfucker. No. You don't get to lay out the fact that a man genuinely has a case because you fucked up. That means that Democrats are going to roll in and just do Reagan-level amnesty for everybody. So fucking dumb.
They play, and that's why President Trump has put more efforts in the immigration courts, hiring more immigration judges who's going to rule on the law.
By the way, the funding that was in the BBB for the budget for the border stuff is stuff that was in the bill that Democrats and Republicans were trying to push last year, so you can have more judges, so you can process asylum claims. All the stuff Democrats were saying we need.
That's why he's got more U.S. attorneys who's going to rule on the law. We're moving as quick as we can to prevent the Democrats from playing the long game, which they've been doing from day one. That's why they released millions into the United States.
No, they didn't. Democrats didn't limit the number of judges and limit the number of advocates. They wanted more the whole fucking time so that people could have their due process.
They're in ICE custody. Because they're in ICE custody, they get a hearing in 40 days. 90% lose, they go home. But the Biden administration released millions into...
And also, no, 90% don't lose and go home. 90% at the border lose and go home. The ones that are in the country that overstay visas and do all kinds of stuff, Chinese people, Canadian people, Europeans, all that kind of stuff, Indians, like in this guy's case, do not. They don't. I would argue 60% of them win.
Community and NGOs, because they know if you're not in ICE detention, your hearing's 5, 7, 9 years out. They're playing the long game.
Right, which is why there was money in the budget under Biden to create more of these courts to speed that process up.
That's why the Trump administration working very hard is cutting that short, doing everything we can to expedite the process to get them out of the country. They have no right being here. They need to leave.
Okay,
Well, asylum, if you have an asylum claim, you do. That is a right. That is a right. You have the right to asylum in these cases, and you have the right to adjudicate that, If you want to change the law around what qualifies as asylum, then fucking do it.
And already, as far as I'm concerned, Biden, Harris, Mayorkas, and everybody that lied about open borders, they all have blood on their hands. And I think it's a matter of...
This guy came in under Trump, you dumbass.
And not.
He was here for half of the first Trump administration. He arrived in 2018. Trump didn't leave office until January of 2021.
This country is going to get attacked. We have known terrorists in the country. It seems inevitable.
Well, if you have known terrorists in the country, think about that sentence. You know, known terrorists. What the fuck is Tom Homan doing on TV with you right now? Shouldn't he be going out there and getting these, quote, known terrorists? Where are they? Yeah, and expedite is right. It means expedite. Yeah, absolutely. I get so used to him just yammering gibberish. It's hard to even correct the grammar and word usage.
Scheming an attack on our homeland. Is that likely? Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're a dipshit.
I'm wrong, but I don't think I am.
I don't think you're wrong either. And that's the thing I go to bed every night wondering about, when is it coming? Because I looked at the numbers today. We're deported just short of 1,000 known suspected terrorists today under President Trump. We got about 500
known and suspected. What do you think the 80-20 is on the known versus suspected?
Just short of 1,000 known suspected terrorists.
Just short of 1,000. So probably 700. 25 million people. I want you to know, 25 million people cross the border. Just short of 1,000 known and suspected. What do you think it is? You want to talk about like a 98, 2%, 2% known. And by the way, the reason you can say known and suspected terrorists is because they know that former gang members or people who are, by the way, trying to escape the gang life. One of the reasons they flee up here, leaving Venezuela and other places, because they were forced into gang life and just want a better life. So they flee up here to get away from the gang itself. And they're saying by even being in the gang that you fucking escaped, you're now a known terrorist. And they're so busy chasing you down for being a former member of a gang when you were fucking 13 years old or some shit, that they're breezing right by actual terrorists because they insist on going after South Americans who are not the fucking problem. I don't know, look at all the terrorist things that have happened in this country on American soil. I don't know that we could find a single fucking South American-based terror event. Not a fucking one. But according to him, like all drug deals are terrorism. And that's how he's covering his ass. Fucking, this goes beyond like stolen valor to just like fabricated valor.
Under President Trump, we got about 500 in custody. Sean,
sorry, you got just short of 1,000 that you've identified. So they were on some kind of a list. You got 500 of them in custody. Known or suspected. What's the suspected part then? Technically speaking, isn't everybody that you have... Okay. In every circumstance where someone is arrested, every circumstance, they are, until they are adjudicated in a court of law, known or suspected. Everybody who's suspected of something, and because you broadened what it means, the definition of these very things, then how does suspected not apply to just about fucking anybody? But this is what you have to do. When you promised maggots that you were going to round up 25 million people and get them the fuck out. Because understand, if that's true, if 25 million people came in, the 10 million that were here are the people who were working on farms and working in food processing plants and fucking waiting tables at Mar-a-Lago, right? If that's what we're talking about, like if there's an extra 25 million people and they're all straight out of asylums, fucking murderers and all that shit, And you can't find those motherfuckers. And you're telling me you've got just short of 1,000, 25 million. They didn't say maybe, kind of, sort of. They insisted that 25 million people crossed the border into the United States, and all of them stayed. And they're all dangerous. All they had to do is have a gang affiliation, which means, fuck, a mom with a son who was in a gang who died has a gang affiliation, according to this motherfucker. And so that's anybody. And then known and suspected terrorist means known to be a terrorist or a drug dealer or engaged in the drug trade or being a former gang member or a current gang member. That's you're a known terrorist in that situation. That qualifies you as a terrorist, according to this dipshit. And then everybody else is suspected. You just fucking slather suspected over anybody. Where the fuck is Alex Jones and all these fucking dipshits? Can somebody explain to me how Alex Jones and all these assholes for years talking about like FEMA camps and people being rounded up and no due process, and they're setting the stage to lock up anybody they want on trumped up cards of the fucking Patriot Act, and you can spy on anybody you want because national security gives you a reason to do that post 9/11. Where the fuck are these assholes? Because they're scooping up Americans in this shit. Where are all the people who were warning about this? Because I'm starting to think, and stop me if this is a bridge too far. I'm starting to think, yeah, Alex Jones is full of shit, man. And there's a bunch of horse hockey. All right. They end right now because this will just, I can hear the music, so they're just going to the this next thing. So I have to jump into this because I don't know what the fuck. This is Lana Douche. Big fan of school shootings. She's one of the people that every time there was a school shooting was defending the NRA. That was how she made her bones, was as a 2A purist. Every time there was a shooting, she was like, we need to protect gun owners, right? That's how she made her bones in the conservative movement. Was after a shooting, coming to the defense of guns and gun owners and guns, and more than anybody, gun salesmen, right? This, however, she's going on a trip to Norway, apparently, and she said, packing nightmare. I discovered a cult while packing for my Norwegian cruise. Go on.
So you guys know I'm going to be going on a boat for the MRC thing. So I'm going to be out next week.
The MRC? I don't know what that is. The Maggot Reactionary Council? Is she on the Maggot Reactionary Council?
It's a large boat, and I don't do boats. I don't.
Really? So I was so looking forward to Dana Does Boats.
Do cruises because it's
what?
For the audio listeners, that was Trump's building behind him. I don't do cruises because it's weird, and I just don't.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Because, yeah, it does seem very low to me. I don't know why.
And so it's weird because
okay, her mic is tilted towards her nose.
barely tolerate being on a plane. And
yeah, a plane and a boat are very different.
on a cruise, we're going up into a very Nordic area, so hopefully everybody's going to be too cold to be ill-behaved.
I guess she thinks she's on, like Carnival Cruises, like hip-hop party cruise.
But it's for the MRC, Media Research Center, which is a great organization. And happy to support them. They do amazing stuff. They do Newsbusters, all of this. But I got to tell you, so I had to don't laugh at me.
Oh, that's going to be difficult.
out and I'm, I like being outdoors, but I don't hike. I'm not a hiker, right?
Yeah, I've gathered that.
Everyone's like, you got to have hiking boots. If you're going to Norway, you got to have hiking boots because we're going to be up in the fjords. It's like Monty Python. He's pining for the fjords. Oh, he's pining for the fjords, is he? Can't even pronounce half of where we're going. Very excited about this.
I'm fairly certain that would be true no matter where this cruise went with Lana Douche.
Salmon, though. Anyway, so I had to get like hiking shoes. Now, Dana's
Hiking shoes. Boots? Hiking boots? Right.
easy going, but there's certain things that I get real bougie about. Okay.
You don't say. Like proximity of brown people to you? Like that kind of thing, you mean?
Like skincare and like shoes. I'm very bougie. I want to be comfortable and so we go into one of those like outdoor stores. I don't want to
Yeah, whatever.
anybody free advertising. They can pay.
It's DEI. Or REI? Or listen to me, DEI. REI, because they used to call it DEI because it's all like hippies and people working there and they think it's liberal.
Well, we go into one of those outdoor stores. It's where they have like the camping and the.
Because if it was Dick's, or maybe she doesn't want to say because it's Dick's. So you went to Dick's to do the boat, right?
Stuff and the biking stuff. There was a guy there, bless his heart, fell over on a bike right in the middle of the store, right as we walked in. Anyway, everybody in that store looked like they were just literally getting ready to run out and go climb a mountain or a mountain bike somewhere.
Yeah, that's what outdoor people do, and that's why they're in that store. I think more what is the standout in this story is that everybody that's in there on the usual saw you walking in and went, what the fuck is this idiot doing here?
Is there a rule where you go into one of these outdoor stores where you have to be wearing all the stuff that they have in there already?
I don't know. Is it on a mountain? And no.
Is that a rule? I don't think so. Do you remember when we went to Seattle and we went up there for a market visit and we get off the plane and it was as if everyone was about to leave the airport and go into the mountains and hike with Sasquatch, right?
No, without a doubt. I think it was Portland, but yes, you
Portland.
are absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. We felt out of place.
You are. You are out of place. You were there to buy shoes that almost everybody has a version of if they do anything even remotely close to this shit. If they take trips at all, have a fucking pair of boots. And you had to go, you're like, I'm going to go to the hiking store to get my special hiking shoes.
We were telling each other, like, everybody here is like they're getting ready to go into the mountains. It's very weird.
And the hotel.
Yeah.
Remember that hotel?
Oh, yeah. The hotel was that hotel?
That was the one where it had.
It was like Twin Peaks.
Yeah, exactly.
I was digging it because it was like Twin Peaks, and that was totally my jam.
It's totally my jam. But in a like fake fucking way.
So I'm in this.
Oh, wait, did I? Okay, yeah.
Store. Can I kid you not? Every body in the store. It was as if they were about ready to go and hike up some mountain that we don't have because we're in Dallas. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Also, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, there's a lot of outdoor shit to do in fucking Texas. And by the way, this asshole is friends with a ton of people who have pickup trucks to drive to the goddamn mall. Everybody she knows wears cowboy hats and they have no fucking cows.
And, there was a couple of things that I had to get, including some hiking boots, because I don't hike. If you hike, I love that for you. I love that journey for you. It's not my jam, just not my thing. It's glorified walking. I'm totally, there's certain things. I like going out and harvesting from nature. I like going out and shopping in nature. Like, that's meat for my fridge, and that's my Christmas sausage, and that's my rug, and this is this.
What the fuck?
you know, and then I go back to my hotel with electricity. Totally fine. And I don't care about getting dirty or none of that. But I just, you know, we invented the house and running water, and I like to go back to these things. So, because we're humans, and I appreciate all the things our ancestors have done for us.
Good Lord.
So I'm in here, and
This is fucking intolerable. Get on with it.
I'm looking at these hiking boots, and they're all hideous. Go for the love. But, you know, you got to get the ones that are most comfortable. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing. We might be on a glacier. I have no clue. I might be, I don't know. I was like, look.
You, in your bougie little world, you do have the internet, right?
I'm going to see some staved churches, creepy blonde kids, and a troll. That's what I want to see when I'm up here in Norway. And have some of that delicious salmon. I'm all about that. Beautiful country.
How do you know?
Oh, everybody in there. I felt so out of place.
You were, and I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why she doesn't have Timberland boots or just get some. Like, this is so stupid.
Because I went in my TV wear. And I was dressed real nice yesterday. Y'all didn't see the whole outfit, but it was nice. It was which is weird for me because, you know, everything I have 5,000 of these black T-shirts.
So you share a closet with Benny Johnson? He spends more time in it than you do, though, I guess.
So I was the only person who was not, like, all kitted out. I swear to you, there was somebody with a backpack on that they brought in the store that had the rock climbing stuff all over it already. And I'm like, it's flat where we are for a while.
Were they returning
No,
merchandise?
it's like they legit came in and they had on the sport sandals. Are you tired of doctors?
What the fuck are you talking about? I'm tired of this, whatever the fuck you're talking about. Get to the whole I discovered a cult thing. This is just to get to the ad point, isn't it? This is another fucking Glenn Beck thing. Right.
And not going to go into that because I have some family members that wear those and I don't want to have the drama of dealing with it after the show. All I will say is that it legit looked like they were just dropped out of an airplane coming from Mount Kilimanjaro and they were in this outdoor store. I was the only person who was dressed like a person that just did.
You can also, there's flatland hiking and there's stuff around. Hold on. This is going to, I know. Okay, you guys, I know. Hold on. Did she say they're in Dallas? You go down there, let's see. The 10 best trails to hike in Dallas. You dumb motherfucker, there's a bunch of them now. The best trails in Dallas are free. There you go. Here's all the things where we're walking up the thing, and there's mountains, and there's rivers, and there's hills and things, and you wander around Dallas, and there's plenty of places to go, and maybe someday you'll go see some real snow, you dumb son of a bitch. Cedar Ridge Outer Loop, the Cedar Break Trail and Cattail Pond Trail, the White Rock Lake Trail, the Katy Jackson Park Yellow, Black, and Blue Loop, the Oak Cliff Full Loop. There's trails, all trails. That's all trails, everyone trail. All right. Glorified walking.
Come off a mountain. Is that a thing? I'm not joking, you guys. Everybody in there, although there was one person who looked like a prospector, but I felt like I'm like, nobody comes in here. Do you have to like show that you are outdoors? You go home first and change into all your outdoor stuff and then bring it in? Like, yeah, I'm just here. I don't know. Outdoors on their hats. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. It's like a whole culture. And then they had a bulletin board where it's like, this is how you pack a backpack. And I'm like, what? I mean, I can help you with that. What's the struggle here? They had all this other, like how to eat, wildfire, all this. And that's great if people, I have friends who.
Sorry, how to eat wildfire and all that?
They actually do survivalist stuff on the weekends. And that's.
I'll put her at 125. I think she's going to get I keep waiting for her to get to the point eventually.
And I love that for them. But this felt so corporate.
By the way, my show is at 9:30 tonight. I'm good.
You know what I mean? It felt so corporate and so try hard. Like it wasn't the real thing. it was just a corporatized version of what people really do.
Yeah, that's why you went, you dumbass.
It was just weird to me. It might be too judgmental. I might.
Yes. Why didn't you go to an army surplus store, you dipshit?
I don't know. It was just really weird. It was, very different culture shock for me. So, everyone's like,
To go to an REI, by the way, culture shock. Or a Dick's Sporting Goods, or wherever the fuck she went.
when you're out in the day and you're not, because we have sessions and, I'll be speaking and doing some stuff on this trip. And then a couple of times, in the week during the day, you get to just basically go run
Just go run around with the Epstein files written across your back.
into the fjords, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to fall off a mountain or something. Who knows? I'm going to come back with a troll. I'm going to capture a troll, bring it back.
Okay, a bunch of Norway shit. Get to it.
Studio troll. So it'll be interesting. I'll give you guys updates for you subscribers over at Chapter and Verse. The subscribers are going to be able to follow along a little bit with some of it. I've never been that far north before either. Guys, it was 76 this morning in Texas, and I about built a fire. If it wasn't my husband yelling at me, like, stop it. It's 76 degrees. It's going to be 80 something today. I'm like, that's cold. It's cold here, sir. It's cold. It's going to be cold up there, and then the days last a lot longer. So it's going to be it'll be very different. Very different. I'm going to be freezing to death, wrapped up in sweaters and mittens, and I'm going to look like Ralphie's little brother from A Christmas Story perpetually on it. Yeah, I'm not going to be able. I'm looking at the hiking pants, and all the hiking pants, they make your butt tomatoes on toothpicks. I don't get it. I've got a lot of questions about some of this stuff. Speaking of leggings, can we talk about this mother who got mad at the school? Her daughter was disciplined for wearing yoga plants.
Yoga plants? Really? Was it a fern?
Pants. Try again. Disciplined for wearing yoga pants to school. It's a Texas mom. Her daughter's in 7th grade, so she's 12 years old. And she posted a photo of the girl, and they were boot-cut yoga pants, but they were yoga pants all the same.
Boot-cut yoga pants. Because who doesn't do yoga in boots?
They were leggings. Okay, just a news flash. Leggings aren't pants. Cover your ass. I'm so tired of it. I'm going to say something very unpopular, and I love you all, but I got to get this out of my system. I'm really old school. I don't care if they're dirty jeans. I'm not going to go out in leggings. I'm not going to go out in leggings and show my backside. I live in a town where women want to wear tennis skirts everywhere, and I know half of them don't play tennis. Stop it. Stop it. Yoga pants are not pants. Leggings are not pants. Tennis skirts are not a substitute for an actual skirt. I subscribe to the Karl Lagerfeld school of attire. If you're wearing sweatpants out and about, as an outfit, you've given up on life. Teach your 12-year-old daughter to dress better.
Wait, sweatpants aren't the problem. Sweatpants don't show anything. If you're attacking leggings, you're attacking them because they are revealing. Sweatpants would not. Fuck this. Why am I engaging this?
Wearing leggings to school. And she was wearing a short shirt, and it was real tight leggings.
And she's 12.
I just don't think that that's appropriate wear. I think that, raise your kids to dress nicer. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being like, you know what? That's great if you're lounging around the house, but I think we get too sloppy and too... You don't have to be rich and buy designer stuff to dress nice, for crying out loud. My grandpa always looked like to the nines. He was a rancher, and he wore Wranglers, you don't have to wear the best.
Oh, my God. Get over yourself.
To wear, like, designer $1 million jeans. You don't have to do any of that stuff. But you don't have to wear leggings as pants out and about. And especially when you're 12 years old and you're in school. And apparently this has been part of the dress code for some time. So it wasn't like it was a surprise to anybody.
Anything to not talk about the Epstein files.
But she said, well, the rule wasn't enforced in the past. So doesn't mean it's any less of a rule. Have higher standards for your daughter as a mom.
Where's the cult? I was promised a cult while packing for my Norwegian cruise. Does she literally mean just the people who shop at fucking REI or Dick's? God damn. And let's check out shall we check out the Lana Douche comment section? I enjoy your show. Thank you for all the great reporting. This channel is not propped up by bots at all. I don't do cruises either. I wish all the public schools would have uniforms like Catholic schools. Oh man, okay, I walk and hike a lot, but no, it's not a rule to go into a store like that and wear everything they already own. Those people have a shopping problem, and also most of them do not even hike. They want people to think they do, ha ha ha. Never use new boots on a hike. Your feet will regret it. I don't do cruises either. Who cares? You will see a lot of immigrants in the cities in Norway. You do realize she is one in that regard. Like, she's a visitor. Anyways, let's see. What kind of society are we living in today when people don't want to go on a cruise? Thanks, Obama, Biden, Clinton, etc. I'm old enough to remember when going on a cruise or anything like that was fun. What? What? Sorry. She's not being made to go on a cruise by some law that Obama passed that made cruises boring or bad. What the fuck? Be sure to take bikini photos. There you go. There's there you go. There's a real member of her thing or whatever. I know you're married, but honestly, you looked a lot hotter with the other haircuts. But I'm still going to watch you fire whoever gave you that haircut. You look like a dork. Wow, my God. America medal #1. I think I would rather cruise than fly. The store was REI. Right, there you go. Which she thinks was probably DEI, and that's why she didn't want to go. If I'm over time. Okay, we did a whole show. Go figure. This is the Trump administration is having people in there do their. What was your first job? Since Labor Day is coming up. What was your first job? I think she carried wafers for her anti-Semitic cult.
My first job.
Her anti-gay, anti-Semitic cult. Oh, it's a bunch of them. Trump administration cabinet members share their first job for Labor Day. Oh, boy.
My parents insisted that I get a job. I wanted to be a cheerleader in high school, and I couldn't afford the uniform. So my first job was packing peaches at Warm Adams Packing in Hanford, California, where I was working 12-hour days for the first time, and it was exciting. I raised the money that I needed to buy that uniform. I lost 15 pounds, and I knew all about peaches, and I still love them today.
No, when I look back on my first job, I think about all the things I thought was so important. But I got up every morning, I went to a local grocery store called Big Star, and I got to clean the floors, and I stayed there for 5 years. Actually, my first job turned into a
Took him a long time to clean that floor.
Experience all the way from high school to college.
My first job was not unique. It was delivering newspapers in downtown Honolulu.
Bullshit.
Started at my local community library.
And I would lurk near the ladies. Ew.
Was not the most exciting job, paying pretty much minimum wage.
Really? For an exciting guy like you? I'm shocked.
I was able to get a massive promotion over.
Yeah, was it the fidgety part? Is that what made you very popular? I was able to get a raise and a promotion to senior lurker.
Retail as a cashier.
Cool story, bro.
And I remember the big day where I was given the promotion to dress shirt supervisor that came with a 50-cent per hour raise. My first job.
Let me make this up. And am I supposed to humble brag, look fake humble, or just bullshit?
Was as a lifeguard at the indoor pool that my mom worked at.
Mm-hmm.
My first job was work.
That's all. No details. Because if anybody chases it down like, he didn't fucking, what are you talking about? He was never here.
In the Washington Zoo, I was working in the reptile house, and I was feeding the reptiles, cleaning the cages, cleaning the glass with a squeegee, and cleaning the...
Bullshit. They took him there, and he got to, like, have a camp day doing this.
Guardrails with brass polisher.
And my
Jesus.
parents instilled in all of us a very strong work ethic.
Yes, you could say all these things. I've read the greatest works of art, but at least I don't work for Jews.
Young age.
I learned that the little things count.
Oh, okay. So you did porn.
That whatever you do, you should apply all of your talents and all of your energy to...
No. Maybe just polish the fucking rails and shut the fuck up.
To do it well.
You know, with the president's leadership, He's offering every American who wants to work the opportunity to work.
I'm sorry, are you handing out government jobs now?
And really strive and earn.
She's basically saying, like, except you lazy motherfuckers who want to do what you train for. That's it. That's the whole fucking thing. So, like, 4 of them, 5 of them. Jesus, they didn't have Besson in there. What? Because how many people you think they rejected coming in to talk about their first job because whatever they did was too fucking sketchy? Susie says she was a babysitter. I babysat during high school as a job, and for the Mendelssohns. And but my first job was baling hay for 50 cents an hour for Butch Troutwine on his on their farm next door. Me and Kurt, his son, we got paid 50 cents an hour to take the hay bales from the yard where they were baled up by this little baling machine that he had, and we'd drag them back to the barn. And they were all the way across the property. So you'd basically have to go down like fucking 11 years old, just dragging these fucking giant bales. Yeah, 50 cents an hour. That was fun. So we could go to the Peaks Mill General Store and buy one of those sausages in a jar that you would stick your hand in and get one of those things out. The spicy sausages that I was convinced was the early hand sanitizer, that putting your hand in there at the general store and picking one out and getting it, just like all the spices that are in that water just burned everything off your fucking hand. It was tough bailing. Yes, it was. Look at that. 84,200 subs. We're going to do it. We're going to get to 100,000 soon. I know it. So like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the radio show, which I'll also be doing from here. And hopefully the air conditioning will work better. Ugh, I'm a sweaty mess. My show's at 9:30 tonight, Pacific time, for all the Patreon folks and all that. I will have that up and running. I've got to gather my shit together so that I can get the stream happening. But we're also going to post it for members of the YouTube channel at any paid level. You'll get to watch it as well. It'll be an unlisted YouTube link, and it'll be a post on the page, a members only post. So you'll be able to read it. So that's how you'll see it. Yeah. So and I'm off. Yeah. And you guys are wonderful. And I'll see you later on. Wish me luck. God damn, it's hot in here. Woof. I probably stink.